Riverdale delivers a sexy, updated take on the classic Archie comics, but what would it look like if the cast was a little closer to their comics counterparts? Jughead Jones. To take on an angsty version of Jughead, Cole Sprouse dyed his naturally blonde hair to dark brown, and he sports the character's signature hat, no matter how weird it might be. The only thing that keeps him from being a dead ringer is Jughead's Pinocchio-style nose. Archie Andrews. Like Kevin Keller said in episode 1, Archie got hot. KJ Appa's Archie is super jacked, with red-dyed hair alongside thick black eyebrows of the comics. He makes viewers believe that Archie Andrews could be the kind of guy two best friends would fight over for 80 years, but he's still missing the trademark freckles and clumsiness of the comics. Betty Cooper. Riverdale's resident brilliant blonde is played by Lily Reinhart, who sports Betty's iconic ponytail. When she's not sporting a wig as Dark Betty, Reinhart's hair is a little darker than the cartoon blonde of the comics, and she lacks the bangs that Betty is usually depicted with. Other than that, though, she could have stepped off the page. Veronica Lodge. Brazilian-American actress Camila Mendes said she wasn't planning on auditioning for Veronica until she found out the producers were making the character Latina, and as she liked that, the character wasn't a stereotype. Aside from the change in background and the Betty Page bangs that Veronica has in the comics, Mendes is virtually identical to Riverdale's richest teenager, Cheryl Blossom. Cheryl Blossom was once banned from Archie comics for being too sexy, but Madeline Petch steals the show as the River Vixen's dramatic HBIC, whether she's involved in a murder mystery or shooting enemies with arrows. Like Cheryl of the comics, Petch is redheaded, although her hair's darker than in the comics and her brown eyes depart from Cheryl's green. Kevin Keller. Kevin Keller made headlines in 2010 when he was introduced as the first openly gay character in Archie comics and has been a mainstay of the cast ever since. Actor Casey Cott's hair is dark brown along with green eyes. Those are both departures from comic book Kevin Keller, who sports wavy blonde hair and bright blue eyes. Ms. Grundy. The character we think is Geraldine Grundy isn't. Jennifer Gibson stole Grundy's identity and started an inappropriate relationship with 15-year-old Archie. 34-year-old Sarah Hable is pretty different from comics Grundy in every way. We eventually see the real Ms. Grundy in the newspaper, looking exactly like her comics counterpart, but otherwise, we're far from the source here. Fred Andrews. On TV, former teen heartthrob Luke Perry sports a full head of hair and chiseled good looks, showing exactly where his son Archie gets his handsomeness. That's a stark contrast to comic book Fred Andrews, who's overweight and nearly bald. And that's a good thing, too. A bald, mustachioed Luke Perry is not the Luke Perry we want. Hiram Lodge. As Hiram Lodge, Mark Consuelos has a sinister cool, the physique to grapple on the wrestling mat, and the edge to intimidate mobsters like Papa Poutine. But cool and sinister aren't words that could plausibly describe him in the comics. With white hair, a thick mustache, and glasses, Hiram's a stuffy businessman who tends to fall into swimming pools. Toni Topaz. Toni Topaz was introduced into the comics as the potential love interest for Jughead, which meant she was a competitive eater who crushed the competition at a cupcake eating contest. On the show, Vanessa Morgan's ability to scarf down desserts has yet to be fully explored, but beyond that, she bears a pretty strong resemblance to her comics counterpart. Penny Peabody. Penny Peabody is definitely the most obscure character to make it to the screen, originally appearing as a child in the Little Archie spin-off. Britt Morgan brings her to TV as a ruthless attorney working for the Southside Serpents, and given what happens between her and Jughead, it's probably for the best that Riverdale made her a much older woman. Nick St. Clair. Unlike most characters on Riverdale, Nick St. Clair wasn't originally designed for the cartoony style that we all recognize from Archie comics. Instead, he was introduced as a modern bad boy. Graham Phillips lacks the spiky hair and soul patch from the comics, but otherwise, he absolutely plays Nick with the same smug smarminess that makes him so hateable. The Red Circle. In the comics, Red Circle is a line of superhero comics featuring characters like the Shield, Jaguar, and Fly Girl. Riverdale transformed that idea by having Archie get inspired to form a vigilante gang of masked, shirtless teens after reading too many funny books. The only thing that would have made it weirder is if Archie actually started fighting crime as the Shield.